Very evil people are running the planet and want to kill you.
I'll show you a picture of what happens to a person when the spirit of death is taken off of them.
The answers to everything is in the bottom of the ocean and in the crop circles.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. As you guys know, that helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it.
You know, your body as a corporation, by law, your body, your physical body is a corporation. And so when you die, you're a corpse, because when you're living, you're a corporation. You are a business, and hanging out with that person is bad business.
Right.
Or who I hang out with is none of your business, because your body is a business. And so you say, well, you know, what you're doing with her or him is bad business. But, of course, if you get married and she's very wealthy, you say she's of good stock. Words and terms are based on maritime admiralty, the law of water. When the British began to dominate the seas, the Knights Templar Masonic Order of the Knights Templars, who had been in the middle of Asia, came back into Western, Eastern Europe, brought all of these concepts, and it was developed into a commercial system of words and terms and symbols, which are used in courts and government and corporations.
The truth is hidden in plain sight, and this is how they hide everything. If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, if you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, if you want to know who controls the world, this ebook will literally unveil that to you, and ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
I'm a brainwashing expert, and I am personally terrified of short form social media like that. And I'm not immune. And I'm one of the best in the world. And I am not immune to it. And I think that should be a stark warning for a lot of people.
Very evil people are running the planet and want to kill you. Okay? And they're trying to do that, and they're aggressively pursuing this goal right now. That's a very simple thing if you were just looking at it like a mathematics problem. Yeah, okay, evil world, they're trying to control everybody, they want to kill everybody. Let's just hypothetically postulate a reality where that's what it is. It's not difficult to think of the idea that the world could be like this. Cognitively, you could have a thought experiment. Anyone could theoretically be a philosopher and say, well, I don't believe this, and it makes me scared, and it makes me feel unsafe. But hypothetically, theoretically, maybe, perhaps, just in case, what if this is so freaking effed that we are like really in the crap here? What if it's real? It's not about whether it's easy to see it or not. And it's not about whether it's easy to understand. The process of understanding requires a maturation that the Galactic Logos wants you to have. Your maturation is the awakening that you are in a hero's journey, that there is a huge villain, and you better get off your ass and fight him before he kills you.
99% of it's processed. When I grew up, they didn't have a whole lot of this canned stuff in the grocery stores.
Beans, rice, and meat. That's what you ate.
Gardens. They canned their own food. They made their own jelly. They made their own bread, everything like that. And you didn't have all of these preservatives in it. That's what I think's hurting people today. They've got too much fake stuff in it, you know.
What's it doing?
Well, I think that's why people have so much stomach trouble and things, you know. It's eating all of this processed stuff. The only bad thing about growing up back then, now today, you can't buy nothing in a can what it ain't have salt, because salt preserves it. But back then, like they kill a pig, they had what they called a smokehouse, and they cured their hams, but it was salt cured, and that was the only drawback on the pork back then, is they had to cure it with salt.
Okay, I really gotta know. How in the hell did that playground get under the water? They said it was, what, 5,000 years old? Under the Pacific Ocean? First of all, since when did we have playgrounds 5,000 years ago? And how did 5,000 years ago we have the technology to build something so amazing and beautiful, nicer than the playgrounds you see today. If you haven't checked this out, you gotta look it up. My mind is blown. You know, everyone's fixated on LA and Elon Musk and worrying about your Doge checks and all this other nonsense. The only thing that's important today, the only thing you gotta do, that you must do, is look up the playground under the ocean. Where did they get the technology to build this that long ago? We're talking like, my mind is blown. Like, if you can even like grasp how long ago that was, and if you see the structures and the railings and the slide and like the...
Yeah.
I don't know why people think that 5,000 years ago people were so stupid and didn't know what the hell they were doing, and I don't know why people think that.
If you listen to the pure sound of the sun, guess what it does? Guess who do that mantra? Monks. Buddhist monks do that hum. How did they know that the sun sound like that? Get on y'all YouTube if y'all don't believe me and Google the natural frequency and sound of the sun. It's the Buddhist monk hum. So the sun is not only beaming rays on you, the sun is singing to you. Just like the birds sing to you in the morning. And notice when certain birds and bees, look, let me show you how nature works, right? This shows you that sound creates and move everything.
Yeah.
In the rising, flowers do not blossom and open until birds chirp. The chirping and the singing from the birds and the vibration from the bees actually make the flowers open up. If you think I'm lying, Google it right now. Google it. Hey, look, test me if I'm wrong. Showing you that sound and vibration and resonant frequency give life to all things. We are here because the sun is humming and beating at 432 hertz.
I can tell.
And think about the birds in the morning, y'all. When the birds are chirping in the morning, it sounds so much more beautiful than the birds chirping, you know, before the sunset. To me, I think in the morning hearing birds chirp is just, it's beautiful. But at night, I'm not saying it's not beautiful, but I think it's better in the morning to me than it is at night.
That when I get out of that fire stairwell, that's where I experience the worst 30, 40 seconds of my life. You look out the windows to the north, and you see these huge, gaping black holes through the sides of that building. Gray and black billows of smoke pouring out of those holes. Flames redder than any red I had ever seen before in my life, just licking up the side of the building and beyond the top level. And the smoke just black and gray and billowing out of there. And you look through this. It was a crystal clear day in New York that day. The weather couldn't have been more magnificent. But I remember looking through that smoke, through that fire, through those black holes, and seeing pieces of the fuselage of a large plane lodged inside the other building. And I kept thinking to myself, my God, how did that pilot not see the building? How did he miss? You know,
dude, we're probably, if it doesn't stop and some major shit doesn't happen and Trump doesn't have any fucking aces up his sleeve to break free of this shit, we're not far off from civil disobedience. Not even uncivil disobedience. Yeah. Real talk. Yeah. Not against the government either. It's against all these people that are here.
That's right. People are experiencing time moving slower. Since CERN shut down, they're saying that it feels like time is moving slower. Their days feel long again, almost as if they're in their childhood. Have you guys had any of that experience? I have. I just want to give you an opportunity before I say something.
2 nights in a row, I know this sounds stupid, but I fell asleep very early for who I am. I'm a night owl, so I stay up late. The first night, I think it was Monday. It was Monday and Tuesday this week. Monday, I fell asleep at like 7:40, and I woke up like the best sleep I've had in a long time. I was knocked out, fell asleep, woke up really early, and it was like my day felt like it was, just expanded. Like if
maybe because you went to bed at 7:40 and woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, of course your day is going to be longer instead of going to bed at 2 in the morning and waking up at 10 or 11. But my days have slowed down. I mean, it was sped up, y'all. My days are zooming by. What about you guys?
Felt like when I went to bed at 7:40 that it was normal time. And then the following night, I went to bed at like 9:30, and it was just like
Old soul.
It's like I was eating dinner at like 4 o'clock in the evening, like, you know,
Early bird special.
Yeah.
Literally, that's my dinner time. So, but I got these kids, and bedtime's 7:30 every day.
It's just weird. Like, I felt like I was living my life like I was a 65-year-old man, and I was, you know, waking up early. Like, that's a weird occurrence
So
for me.
you experienced a different sleep pattern since this has shut down.
Best sleep I've had in a while.
And for me, as far as time goes, I have noticed, especially in the last week or two, I have noticed my days feel like they're longer in the sense that I'm looking at the clock, and before I look at the clock, I feel like the sense of accomplishment, like, man, I'm cooking today. And I look at the clock, I'm like, what time is it? You know, because I feel like for the amount that I got done, I should be like getting ready to have dinner, you know?
I'll show you a picture of what happens to a person when the spirit of death is taken off of them. This lady, you see her?
Yeah.
I was doing a deliverance, and Satan was up, and he started laughing, and God said he's going to lift it. I said, you're going to lift that curse off that lady. That is my world right there.
Let's jump into this deliverance. Explain to us, the people watching, exactly what a deliverance is.
When you watch YouTube videos of exorcists doing their work, what you see are them going after the fruit of the problem, the demonic entity in them. Jesus, in the 4 Gospels, is doing the same thing. He's casting demons out. But he would always warn them, sin no more, lest something worse come upon you. And the scripture says that when a demon is cast out, it goes into all the dry places of the world, and finding no home, it comes back, finding the house in order, it brings 7 more worse than themselves to reoccupy the house. And so the latter state is worse than the initial state.
The house meaning the vessel, the person.
Vessel, the body, yes. What the church is supposed to do through the power of the Holy Spirit from Acts chapter 2, the function of Christ, his ministry, is to heal the brokenhearted and set free the captives in that order.
I did research, and I was like, plastic is made of petroleum. And then I found this chart that showed the energy bonds of plastic versus gasoline versus diesel. And then it turned out plastic has more energy in it than the fuel that we have in this world. Pyrolysis is a process that existed since the beginning of Earth. When you have something heated without air and oxygen, it doesn't catch on fire. It actually breaks down into oil. And so this is what Earth does to make crude oil to begin with. A whole bunch of organic matter gets buried under the surface. There's no oxygen down there. We know it's hot down there, and it breaks down into oil. That's why we have oil and gas pockets under the earth.
Hey, did you see Cheez-Its change their name to Cheez-It? What do you mean? It's always been Cheez-It. No, it hasn't. I specifically remember there being a Z at the end. Oh, you're wrong. How are you going to tell me what I remember? It's a Mandela effect. Like how people think Kit Kat has a hyphen. It does. It doesn't? Nope. And before you say it does, the Fruit of the Loom logo has never had a cornucopia. What are you talking about? That's how I learned what a cornucopia is. That's what you think, but it's a false memory. Oh, man. What else have I mistaken? In Pokemon, Pikachu has a yellow tail. Yeah, with a black tip. No. Have you ever seen the movie The Silence of the Lambs? Of course. Hello, Clarice. Never once said in that movie. What? How about the movie Room 1408? Yeah, I've seen it. No, you haven't. It's actually just called 1408. And have you seen Scary Movie? I don't even know at this point. Like when he says, I see white people? Yeah, I remember him saying that. But I'm starting to think otherwise. He actually says, I see dead people. I could have sworn. And in Scary Movie 2, when he offers his little hand to the guy who's about to fall, yeah, he says, take my strong hand. Nope. Well, he should have. And believe it or not, Tom Cruise didn't wear sunglasses in that famous dance scene in Risky Business. Whoa. But sunglasses still exist, right? Yeah. Oh, good. Jeez. Next thing I know, you're going to tell me Sinbad never played a genie.
You know, I got a comment on my...
When a bag of chips was $3, it was not an issue. But $6? Well, that's a real source of savings. So there was genuine shock on this miss. Now, I've been lucky enough to be a rich guy for a long time. Look, I play with an open hand here, okay? I'm not going to pretend. But I remember what it was like to be poor. And I can tell you it isn't the absolute price of potato chips that has people upset. It's the endless increases in price and the compounding of those price increases over the years that make tens of millions of people sick to their stomachs. I say rip the Band-Aid off. Go back to prices from 10 years ago before the endless increases and get realistic. You raise prices too much, too often for a country that's now weight obsessed, health obsessed, and GOP-1 obsessed, and you're just not going to make as much money for a bag as you'd like to.
I think if they lowered prices, restaurants, groceries, chips, fast food, if these places lowered prices, I think their sales would go up a lot, y'all. I think people would flood, but they're so damn greedy that they don't want to do that. I think if Vegas dropped its prices, people would be going to Vegas left and right again. Vegas would be popping if they lowered the prices of their stuff. But they're so greedy, they don't want to.
Answers to everything is in the bottom of the ocean and in the crop circles. And it's hard to decipher because, I went to the Crop Circle Museum in London.
Right.
And some of them crop circles that I saw, some of them actually look like things I recognized. And then one person said he stood inside of a crop circle and received a download. Some people, when they visit the pyramids, receive a download. I don't believe that human beings could pull this facade off completely alone. I think that all of these creatures and beings that people are interacting with are all a part of the simulation as well. And it goes back to 1561 Nuremberg, Germany, the UFO event that took place. It was a battle. It was documented. And I don't believe the right side won. And I think we're coming up on something like that again.
Right. Could they be part of the simulation, or could they be adding themselves to the game, sort of like the Matrix?
Let's go. Okay. Have you ever seen a show called Westworld? When you see Bulletproof George Washington, it seems like they added themselves into the game and they playing the game to help control the simulation.
Right.
That's what's going on. But all of these other things are operating at the same time as well, because we definitely live in a
He's on Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Diddy, Bill Cosby, you name it. The list goes on and on for, Cesar Chavez, Martin Luther King. So much documentaries of people that are still here and people that have passed, allegations coming out where that person can't defend himself, removing holidays because of these things, of people coming out saying they did this, they did that. But there will never be a documentary on Clive Davis. There won't never be somebody come out and say, we've had people come out and say he has something to do with Whitney Houston, he has something to do with this, with that. Bunch of allegations towards this guy, but he gets away scot-free. Why is that?
Collapse is coming, and we're starting to see the results of this. We're at what's called peak 18-year-old. Indeed, if you're watching this video and you're 18, I feel bad for you, and I really mean that. Why? It used to be that there were always more young people than the older generation before it because population was growing. We're now at a point where there are less young people every generation. And, when we had millennials, we had Gen Z, it was stable. But now with Gen Alpha, it is shrinking, and Generation Bravo is expected to be substantially less. So what they mean by peak 18-year-old, it's that there's only going to be less 18-year-olds moving forward because there are very few young people. Universities will start to go out of business. Certain stores are going to start closing, and there is going to be an economic, reckoning, we'll call it that. Because it's not as easy to just say there will be a recession. And I've talked about the economics of population collapse quite a bit. But with what we're currently seeing, as it pertains to TPS expiring, Trump now having the right to remove many of these people, there's a question of what happens to an economy when you do not have the workers to expand it.
I can see it, y'all. I can see the population collapsing because people just aren't having kids as much, right? My mom, 4 sisters, 2 brothers, my dad, 4 brothers, whatever, a bunch of brothers, bunch of sisters. Like, that's how I'm sure your parents were. That's how some of you are. My sister had 2 kids. My other sister had 1 kid. I had 2. Like, we're not having these 5, 6 children no more. Even people that are super wealthy aren't really having the 8 kids no more. That's just not happening. Even millionaires aren't, right? It's just not happening no more. And then there's a big movement, you know, led by yours truly, Chelsea Handler, saying don't have kids. That's going rampant, right? A lot of people, a lot of 18-year-olds now don't even want kids. Now that'll probably change when they're 25, maybe 30. But just that thought out there when I was young, that really wasn't popular. It wasn't out there, right? It wasn't out there like a movement for not having kids going viral. But social media is changing the game.
Prison of the future where criminals would serve their entire sentence in less than 2 minutes. It's called Cognify, and it's meant to revolutionize the criminal justice system by using a device to synthetically implant AI-generated memories into the prisoner's brain. You see, the current prison system has a major problem. Many studies have shown that chucking a criminal into a cell does not reduce the likelihood of that person reoffending. So realistically, the only way that we're currently reducing crime is by keeping these people off the streets. Problem is, taxpayers are paying up to $3 million for just one prisoner's life sentence. That's why scientist Hashim Al-Ghaili came up with Cognify, because one day prisoners could choose to fast-track their rehabilitation. Firstly, the implant would target specific parts of the brain responsible for reasoning, memory, and logical thinking. The intensity and type of memories can then be adjusted depending on the crime. For example, violent offenders could relive their crime from their victim's perspective, feeling all of the pain, suffering, and trauma as if it was real and it was done to them. They could also experience certain memories designed to trigger empathy, remorse, and regret, which is a crucial part of rehabilitation. Inside the criminal's mind, time would also pass differently. 60 seconds in the real world could feel like 20 years for them. Hashim argues that by replacing long prison sentences with brief, intensive rehabilitation with Cognify, not only would you avoid the high cost of housing millions of inmates, but by actually rehabilitating offenders effectively, they could be reintegrated back into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. So the question is, do you think that this is a good idea, or...
They show us in the movies. What movie does that make you think of? First movie I thought of was movie Click. Adam Sandler, Click, right? Having a bad day, fast forward through this day, day's over. Fast forward to when I lose weight, he's 60 years old, everyone's dead, right? It's like Click.
The current prison system better.
That's hair. What's this?
The uglier hair.
No, not ugly hair.
Jeez.
What you have is probably the same thing a dog has. Because you'll mix with dog, pig, and monkey. Even right now, you can't go across the border. You can't leave America without a passport. So right now, no one watching this in America can leave America without a passport. Tell me you're not in prison.
That's some governmental boundary.
Yeah, it's prison.
About Santa Claus too. You know who Santa Claus was made by?
Who?
Coca-Cola.
Stop playing on me.
So here's how they constructed this. So back in when Coca-Cola in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they were just a drink for the summertime. Okay.
Coke was
Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So nobody was drinking it during the winter.
Right.
So they had a plan to construct this character to where it makes Coca-Cola a holiday drink. So now you're drinking it in the summer, you're drinking it during Christmas time, you're drinking it all year. So they took 3 characters, right? So Kris Kringle, which is an old folklore that is a person who literally breaks his arms, dislocates, comes down your chimney, steals some shit, and then goes back up. That's 1. 2, they have Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick. So this is why Santa Claus has all these different names. Kris Kringle, Saint Nick, and then they took Santa Claus, which was a old school, he was basically in the church. He was an old, historic figure in the church. So they took these 3 people and then put them all together, right? Now, how did he get his colors? What colors does Santa Claus wear?
Red and white.
What colors are Coca-Cola?
Red and white.
That's where he got the colors from.
Right. That makes sense, though, right?
There's no photo of the round Earth from
That's
space.
not true.
Show me a real picture.
Listen, NASA does not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
Why do you think that's fake?
That's fake as
Why does it look fake
It
as
looks
fuck?
like something you'd see in a movie.
That's because when they do it in a movie, they try to make it look like this, which is what looks real.
If that's real to you, man,
You don't think it's real?
They faked 6
Eddie,
moon
Eddie, dude,
landings.
stop saying that.
Were you listening when he told
Check this out.
Not only can you never talk about it publicly, you have to be a debunker publicly. I'll tell the government right now, if you're listening, NSACA, I'm available. Okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up
Okay, you show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother.
You will never probably put perfume on your neck or cologne on your neck ever again after watching this video.
That's the dude with the #1 podcast right there. I'll sell my soul. I will sell my soul if Joe Rogan said this. If you show me the alien records, that's it. That's all I got to show you, and you'll vouch for us, and you'll do whatever we say. People go on your podcast and say screw this guy, and you're still going to come take pictures with him. What? That's a deal.
And if you do, don't say I didn't warn you, dude. So researchers have been figuring things out, and it turns out that your skin is like a sponge. It's extremely absorbent. Anything you put on it, you put something on your skin, it's going to absorb into it. And so what happens is, it used to be, back in the day, ancient times, okay, perfumes and colognes were a whole bunch of different, like, essential oils and wormwood and freaking, you know, different materials that are natural. But and which were so good for you. They actually had health benefits, and they helped your pheromones and everything, and helped mate selection. You know, it's a serious thing. But now, perfumes and colognes, you don't even know what's in it, because it's a trade secret. The ingredient list is proprietary. It's a trade secret. And so what happens is, you're putting on something, and the word fragrance is legally allowed to be like 6,000 different chemicals. There's a loophole. There's a documentary called Stink. You should actually check it out. It was on Netflix, but I think they took it off because it exposed too much truth, maybe. But anyways, there's a chemical concoction in these perfumes and colognes. And when you put it on your neck, you got lymph nodes, dude. And I don't know everything about lymph nodes, but I know that they don't like chemicals. And apparently that's what happens when you put perfume on your neck. And then, of course, when your skin absorbs it, it gets into your blood. And then a hormone disrupting thing. So how crazy is that we went from perfume that was healthy and good for you, and like probably supported fertility in a way with the pheromones and everything, to now perfumes and colognes, which generally you spray on to smell nice, to maybe even attract a mate. Like, there's a lot of guys who put on cologne because they want to smell good and meet a nice girl, right? So how crazy is it that now that thing that you put on to attract a mate, which biologically is to reproduce, may be something that actually puts you further away from being able to reproduce because there's endocrine disrupting chemicals in it? Is that shocking or what? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow for more.
The Epstein files, they're not important to me. Everybody and their brother's on it. I mean, what are you going to do?
But him tweeting out, stop talking about Epstein,
Yep.
that didn't seem odd to you?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Epstein's dead. Let it go. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of what happened with Epstein and stuff is kind of those. There was
Sound like
obviously
Democrats.
like a lot of things that happened and stuff. So I feel like I think he's being as transparent as he honestly should be.
Do you think Donald Trump was fighting the release of the Epstein files over the summer?
I think he was protecting some of his friends.
Donald Trump was protecting his friends in the Epstein files?
Guys, yeah.
Is that a presidential thing to do, to protect rich and powerful people?
They all do it. They all do it.
But there was victims of like crimes, like young girls that were hurt.
I understand.
Should Donald Trump be protecting people who committed crimes, heinous crimes with young girls?
No.
But that is what you said he just did, right?
Yes.
Isn't there a better candidate for the Republican Party? I want to tell you, so many people, if you check their record, they will be in the more than Trump.
We're in SpaceX and quietly just do whatever we want.
Elon has admitted he's an alien about 1,000 times now, and that humanity is actually from outer space.
I'm an alien.
And the world refuses to believe
Are
him.
there aliens among us? I am one, but or you're from the future. They don't believe me.
What do you believe?
You do very well, even if I was kidnapped by aliens. or went back to my home planet, maybe.
Watch this.
Behind me, you can see one of 17 alien-based caves, which enters into what we are almost 99% sure is the entry point to Agartha, the Hollow Earth. This underground civilization, said to exist within the Earth's core, was first discovered by one of Christopher Columbus's disgruntled cronies. His former co-captain, Shepard Charlemagne, allegedly led an expedition 13 miles into this exact Antarctic snow cave on the night of April 30th, 1886. He claimed to find a mythical subterranean kingdom inhabited by enlightened lizard-like beings. Today, this so-called Hollow Earth, aka Agartha, is rumored to be a preferred vacation destination for the global elites.
Oliver Tree is gone, but before he died, he went to Antarctica. And he didn't just see the famous ice wall, he climbed it. He claimed he discovered a pyramid down there. It was likely created by an ancient society 10, 15, or maybe 20,000 years ago. But that is not the scary detail that made him stay. Right behind him, he noticed 5 different entry points. He truly assumed they led straight into an alien facility, a dark tunnel network that reportedly goes directly into Agartha, an unknown world rumored to survive deep inside our planet. He recorded every single detail, a complete terrifying movie. No one has ever watched it. If you like deeply disturbing videos, follow me, or we may never see each other again.
Wait a minute, there's no way this is right. In this classic 90s Britney Spears music video, Hit Me Baby One More Time, her skirt was plaid, right?
It wasn't black.
Wait, what? No. No, there's no way. And while we're on Britney Spears, she had a microphone in this video, didn't she? Like the one that attaches? Where did that go? Oh, you're saying she never had it? Well, then why did Lizzie McGuire have one when she parodied the video? And why did the doll have it? And do you remember Snuffy, Big Bird's companion from Sesame Street? Do you remember his full name? Snuffleupagus, right? Wrong, it was apparently Snuffleupagus. And do you remember Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland? And the little propellers on their hats, right? Wrong, they were apparently flags. And you remember the Disney theme opening where Tinkerbell flies in and dots the I? I guess Disney says that actually never happened. My guess is maybe we're confusing it with this one. Let me know which ones you remember.
Hip hop changing from positive to negative was not a consequence of history. It was not a circumstance of history. It was nothing that just happened on its own. It had nothing to do with the changing of the times. Had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the fact that there are people in this particular society who wants to see us exactly where we are. I believe it was JT, the bigger figure, who said the label executives came to him and said, yo, brother, we need you talking about guns and whores. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That happens. I've been in those meetings. Young Buck, he has a song on his album that talks about police terrorism. The label said absolutely not. Jimmy Iovine said absolutely not. You cannot put that on the album because it might create an atmosphere that might put police officers' lives in danger. Right. So they took the record off, but they let him keep the other 14 songs on the album that talked about killing black youth. So this is what we're dealing with. We're not dealing.
I mean, think about how many people are no longer here, are in prison, or spent time in prison, all from hip hop, right? Like that, the root of it was the hip hop that made them do drugs, that made them get into gangs, that made them do these things. It started with the music and it went to that. How many people did drive-by? There's albums called drive-by music. This is the music you do when you're going to go do a drive-by. You listen to this. Like how many people's lives are ruined? How many families? All because of hip-hop, y'all. And the powers that be, the ooze with the J, are the ones that said you can't do positive no more. You got to do this type of music. If you're not going to do this, you're not welcome in the club.
Starting to open my door to try and administer aid to this guy. The dude in the front passenger seat screams he's got no ears. I thought that was pretty rude. And then I closed the door and I look up and he's got no freaking ears. And his eyes are twice as big. And I just am like, yeah. What the hell did I just walk into? I'm starting to freak out, but then he starts to talk to me, and it's not my language. He's saying words, but it doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
But you're understanding what he's saying.
But I'm understanding. So I know there's a telepathic thing going on here, and it calms me down at the same time because I'm having to respond to him. And he's like, hello, I'm having trouble with my craft. I need some repair material. Do you know where I could find some tritium? I'm like, you mean titanium? Because I didn't know anything about tritium at the time, but titanium. He's like, no, it's not it. I pointed towards the mountain range and I said, Dreamland's just over there. And this wave of emotion hit me like disgust. Like, I am not going to talk to those barbarians and murderers.
So he was saying that to you, like his reaction to going to the military base. Was...
Exactly.
All right, family, there you have today's video. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We will be back with our bangers when I get back. Hope you guys enjoy these 30 minutes to get you by. I don't know when this video is coming out, but this is the last one I did. I hope you guys enjoyed it, y'all. This is Segovia, signing in the man cave, exhausted and done with conspiracies for a week. I'll be back in a week, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Later.